I like
and
that.
try this at home.
Yeah. Drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly.
Yeah. We have to, every time we talk about alcohol, that has to flash over the box. Tell us a bit about Port Askaig.
So, Port Askaig is an independently bottled Islay whiskey. So, in a way, it's a little bit more complex than what it looks like on the bottle, because it was born out of an idea as like a welcoming and approachable Islay whiskey. Islay whiskies, as we know, they tend to have the lovely peaty, like smoky flavors. The whole idea started with Sukhinder Singh, that is the owner of the company, and also, as I like to call him, my boss. And he's one of the biggest collectors of whiskies in the world. Actually,
we can see, guys, you can't see it all in this shot, but we're gonna show you a shot of this room. My days. Well, that's all I can say.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So he always had a passion for whiskey. It started off with like his family. They owned an off license in West London, and they always had like this interest in whiskey at the time. So he started collecting minis, literally knocking on people's doors, find those like bottles like hiding somewhere in the corner in a box, getting all dusty and scruffy. So he started with that, and then from small bottles he started with big bottles, and it's been for 30 years now, and he's got around 10,000 bottles in his own collection. So it's an amazing collection to see.
How many are in here?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
I've asked this question before. The problem is that what you see here, well, you'll be able to see later on, is that this is not the whole of the collection, and he has something like another 100 boxes like hiding, like secretly somewhere in this building.
Several thousand here.
He also had like multiples of the same. That's why I was telling you before, he's never afraid to open a bottle and share it with his staff, and just like do a little bit of research or just check,
a little bit of research. Let me taste this one today. It's research.
Or just try whiskey, but in reality this is not all of it for sure. So
there's at least a few thousand here.
Yeah, definitely.
There's definitely a few thousand bottles in this room.
I don't even want to know what the insurance on this place is. Crazy.
So Port Askaig was born out of his love for Islay. So Islay is this tiny little beautiful island on the west coast of Scotland. It's the southernmost island of the Hebrides. It's a bit of a magical place. I love going there. I try to go there as much as I can, even without having a distillery there. But I just love to visit because there are only around 3,000 people living there. So they're like little villages, all together. It's full of wildlife. That is one of the things that I love the most. To literally, drive around with like deers and like rabbits and everything that just jumps up in the street. Lots of areas are also inhabited, so you can go and walk, and hike for like hours and just see the beautiful landscape, because you're literally in between Scotland and Ireland. Actually, it's easier to get from Ireland to Islay than to get from mainland Scotland to Islay, because it's a lot closer. It's a beautiful island. People are lovely. People are very nice. One of the beautiful things that I love about it is that when you go and drive in the streets, no matter who's driving in front of you, maybe get to meet like a car every 5-10 minutes, but they all wave at you, no matter who you are. It's like it's just that welcoming place. So Sukhinder always had a love for Islay, a love for the whiskies, obviously, but also the people and the place as a whole. So his ultimate dream, I can't really disclose anything, but his ultimate dream is to have a distillery on Islay. So he's have his own distillery and his own Islay whiskey.
So there are a lot of distilleries in Islay.
There are at the moment 8, but there are 2 that are being built, like they're literally growing now. So there are 2 that are being built right now. So sooner or later there are going to be 10 of them, but this is a boom for Islay whiskey in the world.
So what makes Islay special? Why do people go there specifically to distill whiskey?
So Islay, compared to the different regions of whiskey, like the different whiskey regions in Scotland, is the only place that still uses, let's say for most of the distilleries, uses peat. Sorry, I'm just gonna grab some.
Please do.
Pete, hello Pete.
Oh, is that what Pete? I thought it was a rock from Ireland.
I know.
I don't know.
Were you not there when she did the talk?
I was busy running around the room.
It looks a bit weird too, because I burned it a lot, so it doesn't look very fancy. But in reality, it shows exactly what it is. So Islay is known to the world for the smoky whiskey. So when you go to a bar and you order a smoky whiskey, 99% of the time it's going to be some distillery from Islay.
Yeah.
So the main difference is that before Industrial Revolution, before the modernization of technology of distilling and producing whiskey, there was a lack of fuel in certain parts of Scotland because there was lack of wood, and Islay was one of those parts. There was no other fuel apart from peat. So what people used to do, this is literally vegetal and animal matter that decomposes underground in peatlands, like in bogs, and it slowly like decomposes and compacts so together with the moss that we call the sphagnum moss, and it just rises and builds up. Because there's no oxygen, there's a lot of carbon dioxide, so it just turns black. So what you'll find in Islay, what you'll find in, like, let's say the northern part of Europe mostly, it's like a wall of peat. So at the bottom, that it's like it grows like 1 millimeter per year. So at the bottom is like this big. It's literally almost charcoal. It's like an early stage of charcoal. But at the bottom is very spongy. It's very wet. So what people do, they cut this during summertime, they leave it out to dry, and then they burn it and use it as fuel. The only problem is that it's the worst fuel you could ever use. Doesn't make much heat, and it makes a lot of stinky smoke. But obviously, to make a single malt, you need to malt the barley. So what you do, you get the barley fresh from the field, and you activate the starch inside by germinating it with water. So you steep it into water, you let it grow a little bit as a plant, and then you need to dry it. So when you go to the distillery, you'll see there is a kiln, like a little oven, we can call it. People will burn peat, use it as fuel, and put the barley on a perforated floor on the top, so that the heat and the smoke will dry. But what happens is that certain chemicals, certain compounds that we call phenols, get absorbed by the peat. Get absorbed by the barley. Crush it again. Certain compounds that are called phenol get absorbed by the barley, and they will turn the non-peated barley into peated barley, and that smokiness will drag along until you have your final result, like the whiskey itself. So part of the fermentation, part of the distillation, part of the maturation, and at the end you get that lovely smoky flavor in your whiskey too. So Islay, most of the distilleries on Islay still use peat. Still use peated malt. There are other distilleries in Scotland obviously, but Islay is like the queen of the Hebrides and the queen of peated whiskies.
So other places have peat, but just not as much as Islay.
Because this is literally a piece of soil. So you're on an island, so there's going to be a lot of seaweed, a lot of vegetable that grows next to the sea. So we were talking before about how medicinal, like TCP or seaweedy or rosemary, herbaceous peated whiskies can be. That's sold due to the fact that the peat is coming from an island.
So that makes sense now.
It's different type of soil, different type of vegetation. So a little bit of terroir.
I like that.
That's for the people who are deep into the whiskey. The whiskey nerds. We hope you've enjoyed this video. It's probably worked out to be many videos by now. That we've broken apart. And if you have any questions, as always, you can email us at ask@mortsandmore.com. You can find all of our social media channels. Let's see if I can remember them all. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and is that it? That's it. And then where can they find you, Mariella?
Whisky Mari for all social media. Like you can find me very easily, or to be honest, just going through you and then you can put in contact with me. But I'm looking after mostly of the UK, so whenever you see there is a whiskey show around or a whiskey tasting round, most probably I'll be there pouring some whiskies. If you're looking for the products themselves and also more information, I recommend the Whisky Exchange online, or the Whisky Exchange shop in Bedford Street. That is beautiful. You should go visit it too.
I'm gonna check that out.
So you can definitely find knowledgeable staff there that can tell you more about it. They can answer your questions about whiskey in general, like in a big way, and you can find all the Port Askaigs there too. But feel free to send me an email or a message anytime, and I'm more than happy to reply. And then Instagram, I know that you guys are Port Askaig Morts. Exactly. So I look after that too, so it was mostly me. So even if you attack us on that, I'll be the one to reply to you. But Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook is at Port Askaig Malt. So you can find us there all the time. Here you go. Alright, so guys, we hope you've enjoyed this. Come in. Sorry, I know. You're getting half-faced. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I certainly have. We certainly have, should I say. Until next time. Until next time. Alright. Thank you very much. Cool.
What is this, Jack? What is in there?
Water.
Oh, okay. No, it's just because you've got this on top as well.
It's a pipette for the whiskey. So when you want to add water to the whiskey, you can...
Okay.
Well,
You have to shut a bit, by the way.
Sorry. Am I shot now?
Yeah.